So in another video, we talked about the call that you had over and over again in your life. That was the call to be a protector. Well, if you're going to have the call to be a protector, you also have to be living by a code. Otherwise, you could protect things that really are only important to you, and sometimes we don't have that true north to really determine if what we're protecting is the right thing. So the code, very simply, is we protect the sanctity of life. What Dr. Robert Humphrey called the universal life value, which is a dual life value of self and others, all others. So when you hear that call to protect, you have to make sure that that call is dialed in to protect life, everybody's life. Now, you may be asking yourself a good question. Well, what about conflict? What about when you're dealing with someone who maybe wants to do you harm? Somebody who disrespects you, somebody who needs their behavior to be altered in order to protect yourself or someone else. Well, what about them? Do you protect their lives too? How do you navigate that? The answer is elegantly simple, but not easy. And that is this. You have to be able to separate someone's value as a human being from their behavior and their beliefs. If you must, you have to deal appropriately with their behavior while you simultaneously respect the life value. Now, it's not just semantics. You really have to consider what that means, because you may, under real circumstances, have to verbally protect yourself, emotionally protect yourself, physically protect yourself, maybe hurt someone in the process to protect you or someone else. Maybe you even have to take a life to protect yourself or someone else. Well, you're not doing it because the other life isn't valuable. You're not doing it because that person is less than you. You have to do it based on their actions. You have to deal appropriately with their actions while you are simultaneously showing their life value respect, even if you have to hurt someone, even if you have to take a life. That is why you have to be skilled. That is why it's important for you to be well-rounded like a Swiss Army knife when it comes to conflict, and be clear, crystal clear on your ethics and what that true north is. And that true north is simply the sanctity of life, that life is precious. And then with that, how do you do most good, least harm for everybody? So that is going to point to that universal life value. And you have to separate out someone's behavior and oftentimes beliefs so that you can protect the right things. Because if you don't have that clarity and that true north, you oftentimes, under the stress of conflict and the fog of war, so to speak, you are going to make the wrong decisions. You're going to protect your relative values, things that only matter to you. You're going to protect maybe your ego or your perspective at the cost of other people. So you have to really be crystal clear on what that code is if you want to follow this path. And that code is simply this, that you are protecting the sanctity of life. So if this resonates with you at all, and you want to dive deeper into this perspective of being a peace walker, check out the link on this page. Keep going.